carries by remaining silent. This includes cell phones. This is a time for us to grieve for those we've lost. It's a time for us to reflect on how the disease has touched each of us personally. And it's a time for us to look inside ourselves with quiet reflection to find hope. No matter what our experience with cancer has been, we all share the hope that we will one day live in a world where our children and their children will never have to hear the words, "You have cancer." We now request silence as we begin the Luminaria ceremony. Tonight, let us join together to celebrate life. One aspect of that celebration is to honor our valiant cancer survivors as well as those who are no longer with us. Cancer shows no preference. It takes young, old, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, best friends, and dear friends. Tonight, let us remember those we love and all those whose lives have been touched by cancer. We'll begin by having Cecilia Villaseñor read a poem entitled "Dance With Me" by Megan Worley, a cancer survivor.
You know who you are. You are the ones who hold me close in your heart, whose tender hugs transfigured my fears into the loving light that builds my strength. You are the one who helps me find peace in my war against the disease that hides sheepishly in my body. You are the ones with whom I dance and share the music and laughter that fills my soul with joy. Your acts of love and kindness lift my spirit to climb great heights, mountains steep and fierce, yet tackled with the unyielding support of camaraderie infused in hope and passion. When in the night I cannot sleep, I invite you in. Thoughts of you and memories I cherish bring me comfort, and for the darkness recesses of my mind. And as the mystery of this life unfolds, I journey forth with a lightness in my step and a smile upon my face, as I am certain I will never dance alone. And so it is. With gratitude and humble heart, I say thank you, my dear ones, for dancing with me.
Those of us here are ever mindful of the triumphs and tragedies represented by those people whose names you will hear. We should never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures in the company of family and friends, there are others who have endured and are presently enduring the misery, deprivation, and discomfort of the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. We call your attention to the small table that occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that some of our loved ones are missing from this gathering. They have been diagnosed with cancer, and they are some of the names and faces behind the Luminaria. The chair is empty. Many of those who fought the battle with cancer are no longer with us, but rather than mourning their loss, we choose to celebrate their life. These people are unable to be with their loved ones and families now, so let us join together to recognize and honor them and to bear witness to their struggle and their memory. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of a single patient, sometimes alone in the fight against his or her disease. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the medical profession, doctors, nurses, and researchers who helped fight the battle for life. The single rose in the vase signifies their enduring love of their families and friends and the strength of the patient's will to fight the disease that ultimately claimed many of them. The pink ribbon on the vase represents the ribbons worn on the lapels of millions who support a continued search for a cure, not only for breast cancer, but for other cancers as well, cancers that are expected to kill over 500,000 people in the United States this year. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of the bitter battle against the deadly disease, a battle fought by more than 1.3 million new patients each year. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless tears of personal anguish shed by the patient and those shed by family members and friends who have lost a loved one. The glass is inverted in memory of those people who are not here to join our celebration of successes. But the candle represents the light of hope that lives in the hearts of all of us. Hope represented by cancer survivors and the hope for a cure discovered as a result of the detailed work of the medical profession made able through funds generated through events such as this Relay for Life. Now we ask you an important question. Why do you relay? When you hear the reason you relay, please begin walking around the track. If you are a cancer survivor, please begin walking. If you have lost a spouse to cancer, or your spouse is a survivor, please begin walking. If you have lost a parent to cancer, or your parent is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have lost a brother or sister to cancer, or your brother or sister is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have lost a child to cancer, or you know a child who is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have lost a grandparent to cancer, or your grandparent is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have a close relative who is a survivor, or a close relative who is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have lost a friend to cancer, or your friend is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you have lost a teacher to cancer, or your teacher is battling cancer, please begin walking. If you are lucky enough to not have someone close to you battle cancer, but are here to fight back and make sure that never changes, please begin walking. This is why we relay. In memory of Diana Thornton, Max and Ann Horn, Maurice Leon Hudson Sr., David Russell, Snyder, Richard Strong, David Bud Buffington, Steve Buffington, Bailey Whitmer Ford, Eva Alton, Leva Stewart, John Ross, Nancy Howe, Jim Giles, Uncle Don Cameron Amy DeFord, Mary Jane Durant, William Franklin, Fran Cole, Susie Barcher, Roseanne Sherrill, Fran Wilson, Ernie, Pam Terry, Chris Danner, Monty Lee Trimmer, Tammy Dufour, Laverne Burrow, Grandma, Velma Weaver, Norm Keller, John Victor Klosterman, Steve Klosterman, Bob Hill, Helen Hill, Reverend David Nelson Ross, Nakia, Charo, Queenie, Jasmine, Eddie Donovan, Jean Donovan, Genevieve Hanley, Anna Nichols, William Stone, Chuck Trafficant, Judy Hines, David Uden, Charles Marshall Brown, John Bird, Alvin Perry, Shirley Graham, Lorenzo Searcy, Lee Ellis, James Williams, Donna C. Miller, India Manson, Sister Rita E. Roberts, Jan Arnold, Maddie Gale, John W. Hoffman, Clifford Gale, Hazel Navarro, James Williams, Gary Cook, Tony Fox, Lorato and Jean, Dewey Admiral Olinger, Leonard Purse, Mike Kovach, Mary Jane Durock, Mr. Roger, Ione Kinghorn, Wilfred Kinghorn, Brandon Baker, Ms. Reynolds, Grady, Patricia Tompkins, Willie Eva Martin, Gladys Jean Brown, John Martin, Ronald Phillips, Dorothy Williams, Bill Crawley, Steve Klaus, Sergeant Everett Sharon, Bunny Harden, Robert Slayton, Barbara Olheimer, William D. Stone, Anna Nichols, Eleanor Johnson, Lloyd Scales, Tony Branham, Audrey Bateman, Anthony Richardson, Nick Wools, Ernest Cosby, Papal B., Charles Brown, Susie Barcher, Jeff Woodard, George Hamilton. This is why we relay in honor of Uncle Cliff and Aunt Betty Walters. Stacy Wilder, Beth Burgoff, Scott Adams, Patty Parker Harmon, David Stryker, Carol Moore, Verna Snooki Drennan, Bev Sullivan, Aunt Mary Stouffer, Greg Frank, Gary Ruff, Nancy Collins, Ashley Lindy, Bob Epic, Becky Cornell, Rose Beanie, Jewel Schultz, Debbie Patterson, Sharon Hughes, Carolyn Cheney, Linda Keys, Laura, Linda Hinton, Sharon Fox, Pat Warren, Bonnie Wick, Judy Weaver, Kathy Thompson, Rose Bridget, Marsha Garinger, John Woodford, Fred Allen Sr., Irma Robbins, Linda Smith, Judy Brewer, Tammy Stanzifer, Zelda Tilley, Arthur, Diane Rubble, Betty Jo Titus, Helen Morita, Fred Beck, Gail Harris, Barb Oliphant, Cynthia Langwell, Kelsey Van Wyck, Shannon Roberts, Renee Allen, Pastor Selena Covington, Hallie Gordon, Evelyn Long, Patricia Jones, Christina Evans, Gloria Crow, Helen Matthews, Rosine Miller, Robert Washington Dunnigan, Lazaro Denning, Darlene Knapp, Tiana Boyd, Carol, Susie Cunningham, Kenneth Parks, Princess Beth, Linda B. Scanlon, Uncle Iggy, Chris Sanger, Greg Frank, Randy Long, Mary Stouffer, Lillian Kelly, Josephine Inslee, Robert Kinghorn, Fred Beck, Barb Oliphant, Gail Harris, Cynthia Langwell, Nancy Follett, Michael McGinley, Timmy McGinley, in support of Frank Nagy, Van Kraft, Michael G. Moore. All of our bags are lit because we have all been affected by cancer in some way. Every child, every parent, every grandparent, every friend. And we are doing something about it. We are turning our sorrows into celebration and converting our loss into action. We have put faces and voices on this disease. We know we have made a difference, and we will continue to make a difference. Our goal is a cancer-free world, and we will fight back. About those we honor with these Luminaria bags, I say, we honor you tonight. This light represents the love we have for you. It burns for others to see, but it burns brightest in our hearts and in our souls. We now pause in silence for a few minutes to honor our friends and loved ones. We no longer just hope. We are determined to find a cure. Thank you all for being here and for participating in this celebration of life. Keep up the fight. Thank you all for being here, for being a part of the American Cancer Society, and for helping us to fight back. We will defeat this disease. Thank you.